Welcome to Manny's TV Talk, where we will talk about all of our favorite reality TV shows and news surrounding them. Grab a snack, a drink, and get comfortable because this starts now.
Hey everyone, welcome! So, today in this video we're talking about the Vanderpump Rules Season 10 reunion. This is part 2 out of the 3 parts. This scandal keeps getting crazier and crazier. So we begin this circus, Lala was yelling, was trying to act like the moral police, and they were kind of pouncing on LVP for being reasonable with Tom. And then where we ended last week and where we start was with James Kennedy, who is embarrassing to watch. He walks out because he needs to be the center of attention, clearly, but then after that he returns. Then, once they're all there again and they kind of calm down, Andy asks Lala about Randall. How is she doing? Randall is being accused. You guys know about practically everything. It's disgusting. And the LA Times has been covering these stories. When Lala went in for an audition for him, come on. I really find it hard to believe that she didn't think there was something fishy going on. And I do feel bad for her, but I have a hard time doing so because they keep showing the footage of previous seasons when she, out of her mouth, said, I let him hit it the first night I was with him, and then the next day I got a car. She was gloating about this. She was bragging about it. And she is claiming that she didn't know that Hollywood worked like this. And James says that he did know Hollywood worked like that. And LVP kind of says, well, yeah, you should have known because you came onto this show by sleeping with Kristen. He denies it and says that Lisa should be grateful for his storylines in this show. He's another crazy person because they even show footage of him at some reunion saying that he would have been on the show either by moving in with Sandoval or by sleeping with Kristen. But then they cut for lunch. They have their lunch break. Sandoval goes immediately to go see Raquel at her trailer and tells her how things are going. He says, James has to open his mouth for anything that I do, even if I blink. Scheana is, trying to be the victim, and Lala is just being very rude. It's still, though, really bizarre when I see them together. I don't know, it's just crazy. And it's even crazier when I see Raquel kind of talk about it like if everything is normal. In the words of Nene Leakes, this girl is delusional. But Sandoval wants to be with Raquel for a little bit, but with no mics and no cameras. So he actually fights with the producers because they're not letting him do it. They're saying, no, you can't be with someone if you don't have the cameras or the mic. But he's saying, it's my break, so I have the right to not be recorded. But after all that, after the break is over, they come back and Allie comes out. James' new girlfriend. She's still trying to convince us that she's into him. I want to ask you guys, does anyone genuinely believe that she loves him? Or is this just an easy way for her to get into the entertainment business? Let me know in the comments. But Andy asks Allie, what does she think of what James said to Raquel's parents? And she says she didn't like it. But most importantly, they ask how did she react seeing how much James would get triggered this season over Raquel. And it's something that I brought up the entire season when I was covering the episodes. I kept saying that when you are truly over someone, you don't care as much as he was doing. Every little thing that Raquel would do, James would have to comment. So I definitely thought he was still into her, but she says that it didn't bother her. Then they talk about James drinking. He says that, he's back to drinking, but he's not going to act crazy anymore. But then Sandoval says, well, that's not true because, not too long ago, they hanged out. Sandoval, Schwartz, and James apparently got wasted, very wasted. He was acting a mess with the waiters, doing some crazy stuff, and James gets very mad hearing that. So Lala, trying to control everything, steps in and says that they can't blame James and that the Toms also drink a lot. So then Sandoval responds and says, yeah, we do drink a lot, but we don't act crazy like he does and inappropriately touch other girls, like the waiters, like he was doing. So then Ariana jumps in and says, yeah, you don't do that, but you do smash my best friend. That's a fair point. But I feel like, again, that is valid. But it's almost as if Sandoval could be saying something like, I went to the bathroom, and Ariana would cut him off and be like, yeah, like when you went to the bathroom before you smashed Raquel. Or if Sandoval said, I'm hungry, she would be like, yeah, like when you were hungry when you smashed Raquel. Like, chill, you guys. Like, I know, I get it, but like not everything leads back to them cheating. Like, let's just get through this. But again, James gets up, acting a fool. He curses Sandoval out. Very bad words, very negative things. The amount of verbal abuse this man has gotten this reunion is unbelievable. And yet, James claims he's with a therapist and doing better. I think he needs to work more on that because it don't look like it. Then they switch over to Scheana. She shares why she kept her marriage a secret. He needed a green card. And then they ask Katie why she's been so critical about Schwartz being friends with Brock. And Katie says, something about, they were never that close. And then Schwartz says that Katie is always diminishing his friendships. And then Katie says, you're friends with everyone. One of these days, a serial killer is going to get you and do this, do that. That is not something you joke about. I thought it was very disgusting. Why would you say that? Why would those things come out of your mouth? It was deplorable. But going back to James and Allie, Lala says that she wanted to give Allie a lot of advice to her because she's been so hurt. So pretty much a lot of projection. Then they address an incident that happened that was off screen. It wasn't on camera, but there was a security guard that had to take James out because of an argument he got with Allie. Raquel did mention this to Charlie. So of course they're denying it, and Sandoval tries to say something because he heard something about that incident. And again, James says, well, were you making out with Raquel that night? Getting very old. These people are in their 30s through 40s, y'all. I just turned 20, and I don't know any kids my age that would act like this. Like, it's crazy, like they can't even have a simple conversation. But yeah, Allie was definitely trying to protect James, but it's whatever. She then leaves after that. Okay, so after that, it gets a little bit more interesting. So we know that Raquel was not there at that time because she can't be with Scheana because of the restraining order. Now, at the time, they were waiting for a court date so that the case could be going, so that's why Scheana wasn't allowed to say anything that happened that night. But Andy asks, what does Sandoval think that happened? And he takes forever to answer. That's because Sandoval heard a phone call that Scheana and Ariana had the night it happened. And he heard Scheana say, I punched that bee in the face. I believe him 100% because he was saying it with such certainty, and it was all over Ariana's face. You could tell she was lying because she kept denying it. And Sheena's face, her expression when he was saying that, it was screaming guilty, guilty, guilty. Then Scheana says that she'll never be friends with Raquel again. That's fine. I wonder if she lost all her friends when she slept with a married man. I don't know. But Andy proceeds to then hand Scheana a request to dismiss the restraining order that Raquel submitted. So that was nice from Raquel, because if somebody punched me, I would have taken that to the court system. I don't care if it would have taken 10 years. Anyway, Scheana starts to cry, acting like a martyr, like this is the worst thing anyone has done in humanity. She says, how could Raquel do this to me? They might as well have gotten a violin to be playing while that was happening. And Sandoval begins to genuinely apologize to Scheana. And then Ariana jumps in and says, shut up, you no longer have a relationship with her. Ariana, who the hell are you to tell people who they can or cannot be friends with? Because if I recall correctly, Sandoval and Scheana have been friends for decades. But Scheana is a flip-flopper and wants to act like her and Ariana are besties. But she's finally dismissed, so they can finally bring Raquel out. But before she leaves, Scheana gives Andy an album with her music. Before Raquel comes out, though, they show a little bit of that one-on-one that Andy did with her the day before the reunion. And in this clip, she says that, Tom has always been supportive. He made her feel heard and seen. a way no one has ever made her feel before. And that told me a lot. I think she has issues. I mean, clearly, we know that. But I think there is something to the fact that you would sleep with the first person who makes you feel special. There must be a void there. But then it gets interesting because Raquel says that both her and Tom think that Ariana knew all along that the affair was happening, but she just didn't want to acknowledge it. That was very interesting for me to hear, but she does say she feels ashamed, and that when Ariana called her on the phone when she found out, she was very upset, and Raquel told her everything, and Ariana thanked her for telling her everything because she knows that Sandoval wouldn't have done that. She also says that she's scared to see Ariana at the reunion. And then, without further ado, they bring out Raquel into the reunion set. The way that she was walking in and everyone's reaction, the silence, hearing the heels, it made me laugh. I'm sorry. That was funny. But that was the end of the second part. This second part was a little boring. There really wasn't anything interesting. I think maybe part 1 was a little bit more interesting than this. But next week will be part 3. There is supposed to be, I don't know if you guys heard, there's supposed to be a big secret that's going to come out next week that nobody knows yet. So I'm looking forward to knowing what the secret is. But as far as this episode, you guys, that is what happened. What happened in the second part. I know a lot of people disagreed with me in the first part that I made of the reunion. That's okay. I will not be censored because if you go on Twitter, if you go on social media, there's been a really big mob mentality when it comes to Tom and Raquel. And I don't want to just be another person like doing that. You know, what would be the point of that? Everybody else is saying the exact same thing. I have a different opinion, but you guys can definitely have yours. And I would love to read your thoughts and comments in the comments section. So if you agree, if you disagree, that's fine. Let me know in the comments. I'll read them. I'll chat with you guys. So please do that, and don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll catch y'all next time. Y'all have a great one. Bye.